What's up, everybody? This is Jose with Oakland Latinos United, aka Oakland Latinos Unidos, the voice of the Latino community in the Bay Area, California, YouTube, and beyond. Well, I'm on here for a new video for you guys to enjoy, and this is going to be another Oakland history video. And this one deals with Cesar Chavez, because today is Cesar Chavez Day. You know what I mean? Many of you don't know that March 31st is actually a holiday to commemorate Cesar Chavez. And yeah, it's his birthday, and I want to make a video about a subject that a lot of people don't know about. We know about Cesar Chavez because obviously he was the one who was the leader of the United Farm Workers who organized the farmers out in the Central Valley and in the Salinas Valley and in various other places. He was famous for the Delano boycott strike. A lot of people don't know that he and also a Filipino named Larry Itilong created the United Farm Workers, and they're the ones that organized the Delano boycott strike. And they boycotted grapes for many years because the companies that were using raza to pick grapes to work the grape fields weren't letting them be organized or unionized. And, obviously they were treating them bad and paying them low, and you know how it goes. And, Raza and Filipinos at the time, and even Asians, had been picking and working the fields in the Central Valley and the Salinas Valley. And, yeah, for many years, Raza, and even to this day, our Raza continues to work in the fields, with the pesticides and all that stuff, you know what I mean? But that's another story for another day. Also, Cesar Chavez has become kind of an infamous figure in a way because of his treatment of immigrants, especially immigrants who were being used as strike breakers in the strikes. And some say that he called the immigration on them. He's on a video using the word wetback. So there's some controversies about him too. But like I said, that's a video for another day. What I wanted to talk about is basically the early origins of Cesar Chavez and his connection to the Bay Area, particularly Oakland, and also a little and also San Jose, but mainly Oakland. I'm going to focus on. And a lot of people don't know that Cesar Chavez spent time in Oakland and spent a lot of time in his early years in the Bay Area. Period. But Cesar Chavez was born in 1927 in Yuma, Arizona. His family was very poor, and they traveled around Califas working the fields. Eventually, his family settled in the east side of San Jose, evil side of San Jose, East San Jose, in a barrio called Mayfair in the Sal Si Puedes neighborhood. And if you go back in my videos, I actually took a barrio tours of that neighborhood. And it was there that he joined the Navy in 1944. And then he married Helen Favila. He, according to what I'm seeing here, he had been a Pachuco in the east side of San Jose, dressed in a zoot suit. You know what I mean? He was about that lifestyle. And, yeah, his early years were spent in the Bay Area, in San Jose particularly. He became aware of an organization called the Community Service Organization, which was an organization, one of its main members was Fred Ross. And the organization was mainly in Southern California, but they started setting up chapters in Northern California. I believe Oakland was one of the first chapters in Northern California. And they had hired Cesar Chavez to come to Oakland to help set up that chapter in the I would say, mid-1950s. And Cesar Chavez started coming to Oakland, and he started his early organizing days in Oakland. And he was around the Fruitvale area and around West Oakland because at the time, the old barrio used to be in West Oakland. And the early community service organization meetings were at St. Elizabeth's Church, the Catholic Church in the Fruitvale area on 34th Ave. They used to meet, I think, with a priest named Father Lynch and with various other community members in Oakland. His political training, his activist training started in Oakland. He started registering Latinos and Raza in Oakland to vote. He started working like with the community service organization. They started doing other things like other services for Raza in Oakland. You know, you got to remember this is the 50s and 60s, and Raza were treated as second class citizens. And you know, the Latino community or Raza community was smaller then. And Cesar Chavez was one of the early guys who came to Oakland to help organize the Raza community. Him and a whole host of others. In this picture, he's with the guy who's a part of the city council now in Oakland. His name's Noel Gallo. So that's him and Noel Gallo at the old Unity Council building in Oakland. And Cesar Chavez began making a lot of friends in Oakland because of his involvement in the community. You know what I mean? Big names like Bert Corona, who was in Oakland at the time. He's an old Chicano activist that a lot of people don't talk about. He began making friends in the African American community as well. He began making friends with people like Noel Gallo, Carmen Flores, and Arabella Martinez, and various other community members in Oakland at the time. And he began having, you know, friends within the Chicano radical communities as well, like the Chicano Revolutionary Party, the Brown Berets. And he made a lot of friends within the black community in Oakland as well, including the Black Panthers. Here's a picture of Cesar Chavez and Bobby Seale in 1972 at Merritt College. So yeah, Cesar Chavez spent a lot of time in Oakland in his early years, and even later on when he became the big figure that he was, he still would come back to Oakland regularly. Even my mom used to tell me about Cesar Chavez, meeting Cesar Chavez in Oakland back in the 70s. So he spent time in Oakland and had connections to Oakland. He had connections to the Black Panthers, as you can see here. In the early 1970s, the Black Panthers actually organized to do a lettuce boycott, as you can see right here. The lettuce boycott was a protest that was going on in Salinas, where there was fights between the UFWs and the Teamsters and the lettuce companies in Salinas. As we all know, the Salinas is called a salad bowl because of the lettuce companies. So this is the old Safeway that used to be on 27th near San Pablo in West Oakland. And these are Black Panthers and Chicanos and whites who are protesting the Safeway. And this is now a auto zone in West Oakland. Some of you might know where that's at. So, a lot of things happen. A lot of boycotts happen in Oakland. There was a great boycott of Safeway stores. My homie Juan Espinosa organized a great boycott with the Chicano Student Union at Castlemont and at Fremont High to stop selling or serving grapes at schools. There were protests like these of Safeways all around Oakland by Chicanos and the Black Panthers. You know what I mean? So there was a lot of movement in support and in solidarity with Cesar Chavez and the UFW in Oakland and the East Bay. This is a picture of Cesar Chavez in Berkeley with Ron Dellums, John George, and former mayor Tom Bakes of Berkeley. So yeah, he had a lot of connections to the Bay. He had a lot of connections to Oakland. Here he is with Bobby Seale. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't know this, that Cesar Chavez's early years were in San Jose and in East Oakland. And that's a fact. And this is just history that we don't talk about, that we don't know. And I wrote a little bit about this in Oakland Wiki, and I'll leave a link at the bottom if you want to read more about it. But I just want to make a quick video about it. This is Cesar Chavez and former mayor of Oakland, Lionel Wilson. He actually supported Lionel Wilson, who ran for mayor in 1977. He was the first black mayor of Oakland. So Cesar Chavez, supported him and endorsed him as part of the UFW. And the UFW also endorsed Bobby Seale when he ran for mayor of Oakland in the early 1970s. So, yeah, Cesar Chavez is a big figure in Oakland, man, and he has a lot of history in the town. And hopefully this video has helped you learn about this, because I feel it's never really talked about. Yes, this is true. Cesar Chavez's early years of organizing and activism was in the town, and that's town business that most of y'all don't know. You feel me? With the community service organization, he started doing it in the Fruitvale area in West Oakland with the raza that used to live in the old West Oakland barrio in the early Fruitvale district days. So yeah, so Cesar Chavez has a history here. Today's Cesar Chavez Day. And we know there's a lot of places named after Cesar Chavez in Oakland now. There's a Cesar Chavez Library in over there by the Fruitvale Bar. There's the Cesar Chavez Park over there by on Foothill right there, the old school Dirty 30s, 38 Park. There's the Cesar Chavez School on 29th and East 14th by where the Montgomery Wards used to be. There's Cesar Chavez Park in Berkeley at the Berkeley Marina. And there's various other things named after him around Oakland. There's the Cesar Chavez House in San Jose as well that I've actually made a video of. So yeah, Cesar Chavez, I could say he's a San Jose, Oakland historical figure. And that's town business and that's facts. So yeah, man, tell me what you guys think of this video. Tell me about if you knew any of this history. Leave a comment, like, share it with people. And yeah, unfortunately, Cesar Chavez died in 1993, and I remember when he passed away. He's an iconic figure for Chicanos and for Raza in the United States. And that's all I really have to say about it. This is Jose with Oakland Latinos United. Late.